All right, we're going to talk about lists in Python. I don't have a MicroPython device connected right now, so I'm using just regular Python and writing in VS Code here. You can do this in Tawny if you'd like. But basically what we're going to be doing is just looking at a new type in Python called a list. So in Python, we've learned about strings, which are words, right? Text. We've learned about integers, which are whole numbers. We've learned about floats. Okay, and now we're going to learn about lists. So I'll make a list called myList. And the way you make a list is you just put it in brackets. Okay, so this is an empty list. But we can also fill it with values. So 2, 6, 8, 15. They don't necessarily have to be in order. Okay, and the way that we access those values is like this. So this first one is indexed at 0, and then 1. And this is, let's see, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And so if we go and print, we're going to print my list. And we're going to print the value of 0 at index 0. And so we would expect this. That's not what we get. We're going to say print, we're going to run this, Python lists.py, and it prints the number 2. Now if we change this to 0, 1, 2, so index 2, we're going to print out the number 8. Okay, and now we can also just print the entire list like this. Okay, and that prints out the entire list. If you wanted to change a value, so you see the list is 2, 6, 8, 15, and 4. Let's say we want to replace that 15. So we're going to say my list 0, 1, 2, that's index 3. And we're going to change that to be 16. Okay? And so we run that. And there you go. We see that we have a 16 there instead of the 15. Okay? We can also see how long a list is. So we can do len my list. Okay? And that's going to tell us how many entries. And it's got 5 entries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So that's some stuff with lists. Some other things that we can do here now is we can actually iterate through the list using something called the for loop. Okay, so we're going to say for I in range len my list. Okay, we can print my, actually let's do this, we're just going to print I so we can see how this works. Okay, so this, what this is doing here is this. We'll go and delete these 2 lines. We don't need them anymore. So the for loop does a loop for this many times. So it's going to run this many times. So whatever this value is, so let's say it was 5 for now. It's going to run 5 times. And each time it's going to print the value of I. So for our for loop here, it's going to start with 0, and it's going to count up. It's going to do it 5 times. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should get print out 0 through 4. Okay, oh, doesn't like that. So I got to do the range argument, or the range here to get, because it's actually iterating through a list, and we'll see that in a second. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if I now change this to be the length of my list, it'll update if I add more entries into my list. Okay, so now our list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries long. So we should see 7 values printed starting 0 through 6. Okay, when we run it like that. Okay, so now let's say we actually want to print out the values of the list. So what we're going to do here is we're going to change this to be my list. And now we're going to put in I here to print out the values of the list. Okay, so print out 2, 6, 8, 15, 4, 7, 9, like that. Okay, Now there's actually an even better way to do this. We can actually get rid of this range and length, because this I iterator, what it does is it goes through a list. So range gives us a list of values that is equal to basically a range from 0 to the length of the list. But instead we can actually just grab the entries of my list directly and then print them. So this is a kind of like a cleaner way to do this. So we're just getting those values instead of getting the index. And then you can see just grab them directly. Sometimes you want to get those values directly and their indexes. So we're going to go, we can do this enumerate command, and I might have them backwards. I might even put the X first. Let's see which one is which. There you go. Yeah, so we want to put this would be X comma I and X comma I, or we'll call it actually index comma value, like that. So there's a way we can iterate through a list and print out the values. Okay? Just like that. Now there's an even simpler way to do this, and we're getting beyond what we need to know for the stuff that we're going to do, but we can actually, instead of this, we can do print I think it's X. Goodness, I'm not going to remember the notation. For X in range in my list. All right, let me look at the notation here. All right, so I'm going to pull up this document here as a reference because I forgot what the notation is here. And using list comprehension, this is it right here. Print X for X in this list. Okay, so we want to go like this. There we go, like that. Get rid of the colon. So this is going to just print out all the values here. Nope, didn't like that. Let's see. Right. Oh, that's what we have to do. We have to do print X. There we go. So we have to go like that. And then we have to put it inside of a list there, like that. There we go. And now print those values out. So this is not necessarily the way that you would do it, but if you're trying to be concise, and sometimes you can make your code more readable this way, sometimes it can get more confusing. So, you know, a lot of cases we can just do, you know, for I in range length my list, like that. Print my list. You know, a lot of cases we can just do this, and this is the simplest approach. Okay, so these are some how you kind of go about making lists and using lists in MicroPython or Python, Python or MicroPython, and we're going to use this actually to make a list of objects, in this case LED objects.